Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. So here we are in week 4, still with chapter 2, manufacturing cost, concept and components. Last week we have learned 5 of the objectives for this chapter. So this week we will continue with another 4 objectives. Number 6 is direct costs, 7 indirect costs, 8 product cost and period cost, and 9 statement of cost of goods manufactured and profit or loss statement. Direct costs. Direct costs are costs that can be traced to an object cost. For example, direct material and direct labor. Indirect costs. Indirect costs are costs that cannot be traced to an object cost. Example for manufacturing would be indirect material, indirect labor, and manufacturing overhead. While example for non-manufacturing are advertising expenses and director's salary. Product cost and period cost. Product costs are inventoriable costs and involved in manufacturing finished products. Examples are direct material, direct labor, and manufacturing overhead. Meanwhile, period costs are non-inventoriable costs and do not involve in manufacturing finished products. Such examples are selling and administrative expenses. In summary, costs can be divided into two: manufacturing costs and non-manufacturing costs. Manufacturing costs consist of 3 costs: direct material, direct labor, and manufacturing overhead. While non-manufacturing costs consist of 2 costs: selling costs and administrative costs. Direct material and direct labor are direct costs, but manufacturing overhead is an indirect manufacturing cost. Both direct costs and indirect manufacturing costs are known as product costs. Meanwhile, selling costs and administrative costs are indirect non-manufacturing costs. They are also known as period costs. Statement of cost of goods manufactured and profit or loss statement. This is the brief format to prepare statement of cost of goods manufactured. Direct materials used plus direct labor plus manufacturing overhead will give us current manufacturing costs. We will then add the work in process beginning and minus the work in process ending. The result is cost of goods manufactured. Next is profit or loss statement. I will only discuss with you partial of the statement as the format is somewhat similar to what we have learned last semester. The only difference is in the cost of goods sold, where the finished goods inventory beginning will be added with cost of goods manufactured that we have calculated earlier. It's different from last semester where we add with purchases. For this semester, we will add with the cost of goods manufactured. The cost of goods manufactured are prepared to compute the cost of finished goods for the current period. The sum of these two will give us cost of goods available for sale. We will then minus the finished goods inventory ending, and that will give us cost of goods sold. Now let's have a look at the full format of the statement of cost of goods manufactured. We start by writing the company's name, the statement's name, and the period. Then we will write down the direct materials used. To get direct materials used, we must add raw materials inventory beginning with raw materials purchased. This will give us raw materials available for use. Then we will minus with raw materials inventory ending. Next, we will add with the direct labor. For instance, assembly line wages. Next, we will add with the manufacturing overhead. Examples are indirect labor, indirect materials, and factory manager's salary. We will later add the direct materials used, direct labor, and total manufacturing overhead. This will give us total current manufacturing costs. Next is to add the work in process beginning. This will give us total work in process. We will then minus the work in process ending, and we should get the cost of goods manufactured. Sometimes we need to calculate the manufacturing cost per unit. To do so, we will use this formula. Cost of goods manufactured, the one that we got just now, and divide it by the units produced. If the units produced is not given, we have to calculate using the formula ending finished goods inventory plus units sold minus beginning finished goods inventory. Now let's have a look at the full format of profit or loss statement. Start by writing the company's name, the statement's name, and the period. Then write down the sales minus cost of goods sold, which consists of finished goods inventory beginning plus cost of goods manufactured, which we have calculated in the previous statement. This will give us cost of goods available for sale minus the finished goods inventory ending, and we will get our cost of goods sold. The sales minus the cost of goods sold will give us the gross profit. We will then minus the operating expenses, that is, the selling expenses and administrative expenses. And finally, we will get our net profit. So that's it for Chapter 2. Don't forget to answer the lecture quiz for this week. Thanks. Bye-bye.